Okay, gardening vlog number 5. It has been 5 days since I've done this, and I've literally got nothing that I can do today. And it's grown a bit, so I thought I'd just give it a trim. Trimming doesn't really need it because it was only done 5 days ago, so I'll only do it when it needs it. Like on there, so it doesn't really grow much. So maybe next week, or yeah, using this again, obviously with the default height, so that probably cuts it like 3 centimeters or something. So what I'll do is just start by going around the edges. I'll do all that, go around there, come back along here, and I'll just go again along there and just start going back and forth, striping it. So I get to there and I come back and do along here. And that'll be it for this one. It's growing a little bit, so I say I've got some daisies. So I'm doing it longer now, it will grow more. I don't know, on the short setting, like what I used to. It probably wouldn't have changed much. Clovers came back a bit, some of those yellow things, don't really know what it's kind of like dandelion, not really. So yeah, just nice little tidy up, give it a stripe as well, and see you after. Okay, so I've all done this one. You can see there's some hint of stripes, or more of just where the mower has been, like the wheel lines, track lines, the feather there, or pigeon. Yeah, it wasn't too bad, it just kind of needed like a little, what I personally thought it just needed a little bit of a trim, just so it's all nice and neat for the people who walk past, and just for anyone. You can't really see where the roller's been because this isn't like grass where it's all perfect like that. And I'd probably cut longer as well. If it was like, sometimes you walk past lawns that's been striped, if it's going like this way, and you look at it from like this way, sometimes you can see, if you look closely, you can see the grass being pushed in the different directions. Like if it gets cut like that, like every single time. Well, obviously this is a more, usually that type of grass is cut higher. This is kind of, the manual mowers like these don't really have many settings. They only really goes up to standard like 4 centimeters or something, sort of in that, up to around that height. It would be nice, even though there are the cheap ones, it would be nice if there were more, at least maybe 5 centimeters, because it doesn't really get that high enough. Especially, you wouldn't want to use it on like tall grass, like your grass that's like hasn't been cut for, I don't know. So for example, my granddad's garden, his grass has been cut for over a year. So I remember cutting that down, it was definitely quite short with his electric, and now it's like up to my waist. I would never be able to get through that with this, obviously, but still, if there was grass, even like what our front grass looked like before it was had its first cut, you wouldn't be able to get through that easily. Or even half the height, it would still be hard. So, these are only good for like, if you're cutting grass that gets done often, like, I don't know, once in a week or every 2 weeks. Not really tall, thick stuff. It's good for like stuff like this, or like the refinement work. So maybe like, I don't know, if you've cut tall grass down with like a proper mower, like, I don't know. So for example, I've cut some really tall grass down with a petrol mower, and I just want to refine it, get it a little bit shorter, it's a bit more neater. Then I can use the manual one and just do that. Like I did with the front the other day. I used the fly mower first to actually cut all the long stuff down. And then I used the manual one just to refine it and try and get some stripes in it, which I think the fly mower using that was kind of a mistake because the blades were blunt, and now it made everything stand up, and there's lots of like gaps. I don't know if there was, it would be like that if it was cut the petrol or anything else. don't know if it would have been either way, but it just kind of just looks like it's not. It doesn't look as good anymore. If you know, I guess it would have been harder to see when all the long stuff was all taken, all the long stuff was hiding it. I don't know if it would have been like that either way, if it was done with petrol, or it probably would have hit it more because it would have been cut higher, but I don't know. Eventually it will sort of all just fill in. Like it'll probably, maybe in September I'll put seed all over it, and then hopefully it'll all just fill in. That's only if it still looks like that. But hopefully over time it will just all fill in, so then it doesn't like, so when I do it on the highest height on there, it doesn't look like it's been cut too short or anything. So I think the height that it's actually grown to right now is probably maybe just a little bit shorter, but that would be absolutely fine for getting it cut. And if you're looking at it from further away, it's fine. But then just, if it was cut probably on that height, it was a little bit shorter, and all those gaps filled in it probably would actually be perfect. But this is actually 6 weeks ago today that would have been planted, and it was all like rainy and stuff, so it hasn't been down for too long, and it has had only had its first cut, and it probably should have had a sharper blade, but oh well. But yeah, so it will be sorted out later this year. So this has been done. This bit's empty because I don't know what is going to be. It's always empty in like spring. It's always like some little bulbs or something that come up. There's never really anything that stays there for too long. I mean, it would be nice if there was like a proper like edge. I think there used to be, but this bit's basically just empty. I think because you got all this, you can't really have much. But usually, like spring, there usually be little bits that come up, and they'll be there for about a month or two, and they'll go again. But yeah, you got all this done. Looks nice. This is day 4. I don't think it has really changed much since yesterday. It might have gone a little bit, but earlier on, just before I started doing this, I tried testing something with the broom. I tried to see if you could, what is it like with stripes? Obviously it doesn't, because it's all standing up, it's not going to push it down like a heavy roller on a mower would. But it kind of does, it does show that it probably is a better height for stripes. Because it's got more grass. The taller the grass is, the better the stripes. But yeah. So you've got down. The only thing I could really do, just while I'm waiting until Tuesday to do it again, which probably will be Tuesday, is I can literally just get that mower, not cut it, but like push it over back and forth, just using the roller to see if I can get some kind of stripe effect. If I can't, then it doesn't matter. I just want to experiment. I think the broom would kind of ruin it more, because that can bring things up and move things around. This is literally a roller that just flattens. It just pushes grass in different directions, pretty much. A broom could literally, if there's a little loose bit anywhere, it could literally just pull it up. So I'm going to see. So I wouldn't be like pushing it like how you would on grass. I think I would like hold the front. I would have the front bit up in the air, so it's not going to cut or start spinning around. And I would just like use the roller just to see if it can do anything. It probably won't, because it's not like a heavy roller. If I had like a proper, like, I don't know, so for example, a hater petrol mower with like one of those rollers in the back, then it probably would give it more stripe. I don't really know if on like petrol mowers and stuff like that, the rollers work better when the mower is actually on and working, or if you can still stripe lawns even like when it's off. Like, so you can just push it up and down and it will still stripe it, or if it maybe like when the engine's running and it's actually cutting, it like pushes more pressure down. I don't know. I have to see. little experiment to see what it can do. If it doesn't do much, then I'll just stop. Yeah, so it done something, not like... It's not like... It's still pretty much standing up, but it does some kind of effect. It's just, it's okay, I guess.
Of course, you have to put hand sanitizer on before you...
It's not, like, defined.
You have to put hand sanitizer on before you take it off.
I mean, it does something, so I guess if you look at it from a distance... I mean, yeah, I guess if you look at it from a distance, it kind of looks like it's had something. Something's been done, but it's not, like, defined enough to look like it has just been cut. So, so yeah, that's just what it looks like. It definitely gives more of the effect when it's longer of it being pushed back and forwards, but not like enough of like how a mower would do it. And I don't think it's ready for striping yet anyway, so it needs more. It needs the gaps filled in more. Then it would be ready for it to be filled in. Then it would be ready for it to be striped. So that's this experiment done. I mean, the thing is, how you can get it to make there's not as much gaps at the moment is if I had, I don't know, say for example, if I had the petrol mower fixed, which I'm hopefully going to try and get someone to look at soon. So yeah, if you had like a mower the same width as the one you cut it with normally, like that, and or similar width, and you had more height adjustment, get it onto a higher height, like the height you would want to cut it on, or the highest possible on the actual mower, as long as it doesn't like as long as it actually does something, actually does cut it as well, and not just stripes it. Cut it with that for a while, maybe a couple of weeks. Stripe it how you want, and then it will push the grass in the direction you want, and it will make it, and it will hide. I haven't tried this, but it will probably hide some of the bits where there isn't any like grass, where there's gaps. I don't know if anyone else has this in new grass, but I don't know if it's because it was done a bit early, but I don't know if it's because I just used the fly mower and it was quite a blunt blade, so it's probably more ripping at it than. But yeah, I don't know. It probably just wasn't like fully grown yet, and because all that long grass was probably like taking up all of the like light from those bits, and now it's shorter, it can probably fill in. Like if it gets lots of like water and stuff, then it can start to grow. But as long as it doesn't grow weeds, that's just it would just ruin it and basically look like what it did before. So yeah, I think later, if the guy who lives a couple of doors down is outside his house doing stuff and not surrounded by other people, I guess they're doing the path, then I'll go and ask him if he could potentially have a look at the petrol mower, because he works with cars, and I'm pretty sure and he like works with older cars as well, so I'm pretty sure they have carburetor jets, and he has a petrol mower which has the same engine as mine, so hopefully he has the tool. I think it's like an air compressor or something. It just needs to blow the debris out of the blocked carburetors, and then it should be working again. I think what happened was, when I last used it properly, which was just as lockdown started, or literally just before, I remember cutting just like the one bit down that bit by the garages, and it was running low on petrol, and I knew it was just before I started it up right at the beginning there. And then I reckon, so it was low on petrol. I think what happens is, when a mower's low on petrol, it will debris and stuff will get inside the engine, and it will block the carburetors from like the petrol going through. And I guess what happened was, when I started it up a couple of weeks ago, probably about a month ago, at my granddad's, all the stuff went in there, because I guess it all starts moving around again. It got blocked in there, and then it wouldn't allow more petrol to go in. So that's why it sounded like I ran out of petrol, and it was literally just topped up like a minute within running, like 2 minutes. It was like running for like a minute, and it was like stopped. So yeah, it just literally needs an air compressor or something that can blow those bits out, all the debris out, until it's clear. Because the carburetors, I think, are so small, they're like a couple millimetre wide, so no wonder it's going to get blocked. So I think it would just be that would need to just be blown out, or wherever it's located in the engine. So I think what needs to happen is the petrol needs to be drained first, preferably back into the can, because that was brand new. And then we need to access the carburetor, wherever it is on the engine. Get the air compressor, blow all bits of debris out. I don't know if you take the carburetors off or something, I don't know. And if it is, put it back in, and just put it all back on together. Put the petrol back in, and I guess start it up to see if it works. And I mean, it seems like it's kind of an easy fix if you know what you're doing. You've done it before. But obviously, this is my first petrol mower, so basically, just don't use it if you know it's running low on petrol. If you've got some, top it up before you use it, because you don't really want that to happen every single time. It just basically happened because I didn't top it up because I didn't have any more petrol at that point, and I wanted to get some more, but it was still kind of early spring and things were still kind of wet, and obviously went into lockdown, so it would have been a waste of money if I had it, and it was just sat in the engine for like 3 months. Meow. This cat was about to pounce on the buffalo. Like, she was just like along here, like standing up here, like sort of staring at it, and our cats just like to kill and eat butterflies. She didn't know, it flew away, like Bob. One Bob tried to catch the other day, it flew away. So we don't have any wildlife in our garden, especially anything that flies, without killing it. Or trying to kill it. So I think it looks like, I don't think it has happened yet, but my dad's going to spray the patio today with the weed killer that he brought a month ago. And spray all the...
Almost looks like this.
Oh no, maybe he has.
Weird. I wonder if that's
Looks like he has sprayed it.
But you had one yesterday, didn't you, Fab?